resetting their rates right now. We are barreling toward a tipping point for American families. If Congress does not act, nearly 22 million Americans will see their health insurance premiums more than double on average. Democrats want to lower those costs right now. Republicans are shutting down the entire government instead of coming to the table to help American families. An overwhelming majority of Americans want us to extend these tax credits so that insurance premiums don't go through the roof. Even most Trump supporters agree with us on this. Donald Trump himself just said he wants to make it better, and it is only Senate Republicans who are standing in the way. Senate Republicans have refused to even sit down and negotiate over health care cuts, even though thousands of their constituents will see their costs go way up. For example, in Alabama, about 447,000 Americans will see their insurance premiums skyrocket. In Alaska, about 24,000 Americans will see their insurance premiums skyrocket. In Arkansas, it's about 144,000 Americans. In Florida, it's 4.4 million Americans. In Idaho, it's 101,000 Americans. In Indiana, it's 290,000 Americans. In Iowa, it's 118,000 Americans. In Kansas, it's 182,000 Americans. In Kentucky, it's 77,000 Americans. In Louisiana, it's 276,000 Americans. In Maine, it's 54,000 Americans. In Mississippi, it's 320,000 Americans. In Missouri, it's 383,000 Americans. In Montana, it's 67,000 Americans. In North Carolina, it's 888,000 Americans. In North Dakota, it's 38,000 Americans. In Ohio, it's 514,000 Americans. In Oklahoma, it's 290,000 Americans. In Pennsylvania, it's 422,000 Americans. In South Carolina, it's 588,000 Americans. In South Dakota, it's 50,000 Americans. In Tennessee, it's 593,000 Americans. In Texas, it is 3.7 million Americans. Nearly 4 million Americans will see their insurance premiums skyrocket. In Utah, it's 395,000 Americans. In West Virginia, it's 63,000 Americans. In Wisconsin, it's 272,000 Americans. In Wyoming, it is 43,000 Americans. Look, Democrats are fighting to lower costs for every single one of those Americans. Where are their Republican senators? Those were the insurance premiums, which will cause about 5 million people to lose their coverage because they just can't afford those higher costs. But Republicans are also cutting health care for another 10 million Americans. That's seniors in nursing homes, mamas with newborn babies, and it's your neighbor who needs a wheelchair or a home health aide to be able to live independently. Democrats have said time and time again, if Congress is going to pass a budget for the U.S. government, then saving health care for those millions of Americans has to be part of the deal. We will not stop fighting for Americans' access to their doctors and to their hospitals. And what has been the response of Donald Trump? He don't want to talk about health care. Nope. Instead, his plan is to inflict maximum pain on Americans during this Republican shutdown. His right-hand man, Russ Vought, is shutting down important infrastructure projects as political punishment. They're threatening to fire many more federal workers. And get this, the White House is furloughing hundreds of staffers because of the Republican shutdown, but they are keeping every single DOJ staffer on. In total, the Trump administration is furloughing over 500,000 workers who work every day to keep our country running. But at least Elon Musk's pals at DOJ are safe. And that tells you everything you need to know about the Republican plans. Look, this may feel like a surprise to millions of Americans, but the Republican attack on Americans' health care has been long in the making. It's exactly the shutdown playbook Donald Trump and his lackeys laid out in their Project 2025. Since day one, Trump has tried again and again and again to shut down the parts of government he just doesn't like. He has tried to illegally wipe away millions of dollars for programs that Congress had already agreed to fund. He has illegally fired tens of thousands of federal workers. He has illegally sent our troops to invade American cities. And the response of Republicans in the Senate has been to bow down and let Donald Trump do all of that and more. And now, during a government shutdown, the President of the United States is saying, quote, a lot of good can come from a shutdown, and quote, we can get rid of a lot of things we didn't want. And while all of that is going on, why would Democrats sign off on a Republican budget without ironclad guarantees to make sure that Trump won't just turn around and go back on the deal and not lower costs for families? The answer is we won't. While Senate Republicans keep taking orders from their wannabe king and drag out their government shutdown, Senate Democrats will not stop fighting to save health care and to lower costs for families. We want rollbacks of the Republican cuts that will take away health care coverage from 15 million people and drive up insurance premiums for everyone else. This is not a partisan issue. This is not a partisan fight. Democrats are in this fight for all Americans. And we urge Senate Republicans to join us to protect health care coverage for millions of Americans and end this painful government shutdown. Madam President, I yield the floor.
The senator from Maine.
Madam President, as if in legislative session and notwithstanding Rule 22, I ask unanimous consent that the Committee on Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs be discharged from further consideration of S1377 and the Senate proceed to its immediate consideration, that the bill be considered read a third time and passed, and that the motion to reconsider be considered made and laid upon the table with no intervening action or debate.
Is there objection?
Madam President,
The senator from Kentucky.
I object.
Objection is heard.
Madam President, I want to express some thoughts on this motion that was just objected to.